Welcome into another edition of the Butcher versus the Spin Instructor presented by LB's Meat Market. I'm Neil McCready. Greg Jones is the Butcher. He's at LB's Meat Market. Campbell McCready is the Spin Instructor. Had a spin class early today. Just hopped out of the shower, so got the wet hair. But we're at Zen Studio. It was what, your fourth or fifth of the week? Is that right?
Fourth in 24 hours.
Fourth in 24 hours. Yeah. I bet your legs are sore. All right, I can't even imagine. All right, we'll talk about all that stuff in a minute. First, I want to tell you guys about LB's Meat Market. It's 2008 University Avenue in Oxford. It's across from Kroger, but like I tell you all the time, if you can get to Kroger, you'd rather get to LB's. And fantastic product. I'm trying to think, Greg. Last week we had a big LB's day. We got some fillets. I got the bone-in ribeye. And
you got the dry aged bone-in ribeyes.
Yeah, and they were really, really, really good. I mean, I just, you know what, I didn't even get complicated. With the fillets, I did the sous vide on them because people in my family are very particular about the internal temperature of their fillet. And if I overdo it by a couple of degrees, I hear about it. I mean, they try to be nice, but it comes across as direct criticism. And you're like, hey, I'm not a chef. I'm doing the best I can. You can do it. But with the dry aged bone-in ribeye, I just lit the gas grill. I just seared for a couple of minutes on each side, turned it off, let it sit for a little bit. About 134, 135, and it was perfect. Oh, yeah. Great, and just so fantastic, and the meat close to the bone, man.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow,
that's that sweet meat.
That is so good. We got some jalapeno poppers. I think we got the asparagus wrapped in bacon because everything's good wrapped in bacon, and it was excellent. Just a great meal. It was a relaxing open date weekend. Ole Miss didn't play last weekend, so I think I had my first beverage at about 11 o'clock. We put up Christmas stuff. I took a nap during the mid-afternoon games and fell asleep. I watched Arkansas, Tennessee to the end, and then I flipped over to Clemson, Notre Dame. And I fell asleep at the end of regulation and woke up when the game was over. So you should sit up when you're that tired and watch the end of the game, because if you lay there, you're going to fall asleep. So I guess before we get started, Greg, tell the people about what you got going on at LB's this weekend.
Well, I mean, we got a home weekend coming in, so we're pretty much stocked up, ready to go. I'm actually feeding the Ole Miss athletic department before the game on Saturday, so we have a little catering situation that we got going on. We'll have fresh fish. I got fresh scallops. We got some redfish. We got some snapper. We got plenty of salmon, plenty of rain trains. So yeah, we'll be ready to go for this weekend. Just going to go normal hours from on Saturday from 10 to. We might get out of there like 5 o'clock, but we'll probably get out a little early. But we'll be ready to go and open on Sunday as always from 1 to 6.
Yeah, Ole Miss in South Carolina. As of this moment, be honest, I keep anticipating a change of time, but I haven't heard of one, so maybe I'm anticipating something that's not going to happen. As of this moment, 6:30 at Vaught Hemingway Stadium, so should be a fun weekend of football, at least here in Oxford. 4 games around the SEC have been COVIDed out. Texas A&M and Tennessee, COVIDed out. Auburn and Mississippi State, no go. Alabama, LSU is a no-go, and Georgia, Missouri, that's not happening either. So all those games have been rescheduled with the exception of LSU, Alabama. I do think the LSU COVID is going to impact Ole Miss's schedule. My guess, and this is fairly educated right now, is that the Ole Miss LSU game is going to get moved to December the 19th. So Ole Miss is going to have I guess they'll play Mississippi State, then they'll have an open date, and then they'll play LSU on the 19th in what will be the finale. They were scheduled to play LSU on November the 29th or something.
Yeah. No, December. Well, yeah, I know that they moved it back for the SEC championship game week. So
they were scheduled to play it on December the 5th. They were going to finish the season on December the 5th. So now they'll play Mississippi State and then have 2 weekends off before they play LSU.
Oh man, I guess that's good.
It's a COVID year. The goal is just to get the games in. This is LSU's now missed 2 games, and because both of them are against the 2 teams that probably will play in the SEC championship game, they're going to have to shuffle. So anyway, is what it is. Hopefully they can get the games in. This contact tracing thing is becoming an issue for the league. All right, you guys, last week, Campbell, somehow, some way, you went 5-2. It's a remarkable accomplishment. It's proof. I'm not sure what it's proof of. But it's proof of something, and at some point we'll figure out what it is that it's proof of. Greg, you went 3-4. Greg made the betting mistake. You made the mistake, Greg, of what coaches do when the kicker misses an extra point early in the game, and you start going for 2 to make up for it, and you end up not getting it, and then not getting it, and before you know it, you've left 4 to 6 points on the board. You did that. You chased a couple, and you got burned. So you went 3-4. So now going into today's slate of games, Greg Jones is 27-24. Campbell McCready is 30-21, which is really good. 9 games over. That means you're making money. So
yeah, when she dropped the oddshark.com last week, I knew it was over. I was like, oh man, she got on Google. She went and found oddshark.com. I was like, I got to pull out all the stops this week.
That McCready competitive gene kicked in.
That's why I had to put the glasses on this week, because I have to at least look like I'm smart, So, but yeah, all the stops are coming out this week.
All right, so here we go. Vanderbilt is at Kentucky as of now. By the way, if any game gets COVIDed out effective from the moment of this taping, everybody gets a win. So that's how this works. So Vanderbilt is at Kentucky. 11 a.m. SEC Network. Vanderbilt is a 17-point underdog. Greg?
Ooh, well, Vanderbilt is pretty bad. We've probably touched on that probably for the last 6 weeks of how bad they are. I'm going to go with Kentucky and hope Campbell goes with Vanderbilt, but that's probably not going to happen, because she's probably going to take every pick that I pick first, so she can keep the upper hand on me. So, touche on that.
If the lead climbs to a certain point, me being the arbiter of this competition, I will make her go first on every pick. But we're not.
Yeah, because she's just so much sports knowledge in her head. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I need all the help I can get here.
We'll discuss that sports knowledge in a moment. All right, Campbell, you've got Greg's taking Kentucky. Vanderbilt, a 17-point underdog at Kentucky. What do you think?
Well, actually, you're wrong. I'm going to go with Vanderbilt. If I've learned anything in the past 6 or 7 weeks or whatever we're on right now, I know that Vanderbilt sucks. So I'm going to go with Vanderbilt here.
So you're going to take the 17 points. It is a big line, but we'll see. All right, we go into the Big Ten now because, well, the SEC let us down. So that we're going to go to the Big Ten for a few games here. Indiana is at Michigan State. We picked the Hoosiers game last week. They won, and they have become really one of the fun stories in all of college football. Indiana is a 7.5-point favorite at Michigan State. That game at 11 a.m. You can watch it on ABC. Campbell, you're up.
I'm going to go with Indiana just because last week we talked about my friend from middle school. Her dad's the coach. And it seems that usually when I pick a team based off someone that I know, it usually works for me. So we're going to go with Indiana here.
Yeah, I talked to Greg. You probably are familiar with Kane Womack. I talked to Kane, the defensive coordinator at Indiana. I guess we talked on Sunday or Monday after the game because they showed him on TV a lot. And I was telling him, I'm like, man, I'm cheering for you guys. I'm like legitimately into your games. And so he's like, yeah, I'm going to send you some Indiana swag because I have all this Iowa swag behind me on the thing, and I've never even been to the state of Iowa. So He's going to send me some Indiana stuff. He's trying to sway my Big Ten allegiances from the Hawkeyes to the Hoosiers. So what do you got?
I mean, I know Michigan State laid a big egg last week against Iowa, and that's not a good performance. But we'll have to take a chance on them. We'll see if Indiana slips up this week after the big win against Michigan. So I'm going to go with Michigan State here. See if the other team from Michigan has better luck against Indiana this week.
I feel like we're on the gambling crazy horse right now. We're just all over the place. Campbell says, Vanderbilt sucks, so I'm going to take them. And then Greg says, Michigan State got just slaughtered last week, so I'm going to roll with them. Okay, that's why we have the competition. All right, staying in the Big Ten, Illinois heads to Rutgers. Illinois is a 6.5-point underdog heading to Rutgers. The game at 11 Central on the Big Ten Network. Greg, you're up.
Oh, man, two really bad teams. I think Rutgers scored something like 20-some-odd points against Ohio State. Maybe that was against their, third or fourth string. But I know Illinois is a disaster right now. Lovie Smith, he's a great coach, good guy. But, I don't think he's going to get it done. So I'm going to go with Rutgers this week. Rutgers. All
right, Greg takes Rutgers and lays the points. Campbell, what do you think?
I don't even know what Rutgers is or where that is. What is it?
It is essentially the University of New Jersey. It is in Piscataway, New Jersey.
All right. Well, I didn't know anything about it until Greg just finished talking. I was going to pick Illinois, but I'm going to stick with it. We drove to Chicago years ago. I think I was a sophomore in high school, and my dad made us stop at the Illinois Stadium to take pictures. So, I don't know. I'm going to go with them.
In Champaign, Illinois.
I'm a stadium freak. I love stadiums. I once had a 9-hour layover in Detroit, and I left the airport, took a cab to go see Old Tiger Stadium.
Oh, wow.
I just like stadiums. And so we were passing through, and I was like, let's go check out the stadium. And it was locked. But I found a way to kind of get into it. And so Carson and I broke into the stadium, and they saw us. They left us alone. We were just in the stands taking pictures. But it was cold. It was a pretty day. It's a cool stadium. I liked it. It was nice.
Yeah, it's old school. I mean, I went to old Yankee Stadium before they turned it into a parking lot. So it was it wasn't the greatest, but it was just old school concrete, bleachers. I mean, if you lean forward, you might go forward. So it was but yeah, the old Tiger Stadium was very similar to that. Now, that was why I became a big Detroit Tigers fan, because growing up, I wanted to be like Cecil Fielder. I wanted to hit it out of the stadium because he would hit it out of the stadium. And but I was left-handed and short. Good swing, but I always pretended to be like Cecil Fielder and do the big leg kick and the rock back and everything like that. So that's kind of one of the reasons why I became a Tigers fan. I just like the old school, and Sparky Anderson was the coach. So, but yeah, good stuff there.
And the best uniforms in baseball, the Tiger home uniform, best uniform in baseball. It's awesome. All right, Notre Dame is at Boston College. We've stuck with the Irish a lot this year. They knock off Clemson last week. Notre Dame now a 13.5-point favorite at Boston College. This game 2:30 Central on ABC. Campbell, you're up.
As we know, every time I pick Notre Dame, it really seems to work for me. So I'm going to go with them again. Also, I saw on Twitter the little video of them going on the field after they won. That looked like a lot of fun. So, maybe they'll win again and they can do it again. So
yeah, they got shamed. It was not the best look for the media on Saturday. Literally the same media who criticized the Notre Dame students for celebrating a huge win for the school, for the program. The same people earlier in the day were saying how great it was that people were out in the streets celebrating Joe Biden's victory.
Yes.
My opinion is celebrate everything. If you want to celebrate Biden winning, awesome. Do it. Great. It's an emotional election. Your guy won. Celebrate. But you can't then turn around and make fun of kids at Notre Dame celebrating their team knocking off Clemson in double overtime and having an excited moment.
Yeah.
It can't be both. You can either criticize both or both are okay. You can't pick unless you think the virus is smart enough to differentiate, at which point we're all going to die. So it's really that simple. All right, Greg, she's got Notre Dame. What do you think?
I like Boston College. I mean, the home bow wow here. Let's roll with it. So let's see I know the emotions of and the corona probably took over Notre Dame's campus last weekend. So I don't even know if Notre Dame's going to be able to fill a team out with all that gathering after the big victory. So I'm going to go with Boston College here. I like it.
Greg takes the Golden Eagles and a super spreader. So that's what he's hoping for. All right, now we go out west a little bit. USC, the Trojans are a 14-point favorite at Arizona. This game, 2:30 Central. You can watch it on Fox. Let's see, whose turn is it? It's Greg's turn, right? Mm-hmm. Yep, Greg, you're up. Trojans.
Well, it seemed like USC had some trouble last weekend with Arizona State, and maybe it just might be an Arizona thing. Arizona's kind of hard to crack right now, even with the election and football team. So I'm going to go with the hard cracking Arizona team. Let's go with that with the points.
All right, so Greg gets the 14 points. Campbell, what do you think?
I don't know anything about these two teams.
Do you know USC's colors? Would you know USC's uniforms if you saw them? They have
blue and yellow, blue and gold.
No, they're kind of red and gold.
Oh, okay.
They have great.
The only thing I know about USC is that what's her name? She played the aunt in Full House.
Oh, Aunt Becky.
Aunt Becky, she that whole scandal with her daughters.
Yeah, that was USC getting them into the USC rowing team or something.
Yeah, she got them to take pictures pretending to be on the rowing team or whatever or something. And it would I think the youngest daughter, her name's Olivia, she was a sophomore and they had just found out about it and she had to she dropped out of school. And
was it Lori Loughlin? Is that who that was?
Yep, yeah. Lori Loughlin. Mm-hmm.
I covered a game at USC once. It was years ago. Auburn played there, and when I was covering Auburn, and they played that fight song from the first
all the time.
And man, the next day in the airplane, I was still humming that song with myself. Yeah. You just hear it over and over and over. It's a cool. That was a fun place to go to a game. And just on and on and on. Awesome. And they bring it
during the plays, they soft play it. They soft play it during the plays, and then whenever the defense makes a stop, they'll go back to
as soon as the offense goes out, it's it's awesome. I loved it. It was so
I love it too.
It was so cool. And from my seat you could see the Hollywood sign and all of that stuff, and the Traveler, the White Horse, and the Song Girls with the whole deal. It was awesome. I loved it. It was a great game, too. It turns out USC was on the cusp of really being awesome because they had Reggie Bush and Carson Palmer and all those cats. They were good. All right, so let's see. Campbell, you took.
I don't even think I ever decided.
She was bringing the Aunt Becky angle into it, so that's.
I'm gonna go. Yeah, I was bringing the Aunt Becky. And
you're gonna go with Aunt Becky and the Trojans?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's SMU is a 2.5-point underdog at Tulsa. Two teams that are actually pretty good. 6 p.m. on ESPN2. Campbell, you are up.
I'm going to go with Tulsa. We have family there. My second cousin, does that make him your cousin?
He's my first cousin, Mike. Mm-hmm.
He's the president of the Chamber of Commerce in Tulsa.
Yep.
And all my friends actually last February or something, we all decided just for a Saturday we were going to drive to Tulsa. And I DM'd him on Instagram and I was like, hey, can we stop by and say, hey, I'm in Tulsa? And so all my friends, we have a picture with him and everything. So I'm going to go with Tulsa here.
All right. So she's taking Tulsa and laying the 2.5. Greg, what do you think?
Man, after listening to that, I literally want to drive to Tunica and put some money on Tulsa. I mean, that's just,
it's almost automatic.
I mean, it's really automatic. With that being said,
my picks seem to be working for me. So
that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm
Yeah.
driving to Tunica here. With that being said, I'm going to go with the SMU Mustangs. They played a good game last week against Temple, and they're playing some good ball. Let's go with the SMU Mustangs here.
Yeah, that's actually a sneaky good game, SMU and Tulsa. That's not a bad football game at all. That will not be the game that's on all the TV screens in Fayetteville, though. Arkansas will be at Florida. The Hogs get a big win over Tennessee last week. Florida gets a big win over Georgia. Wow, they just popped Georgia just impressively. Florida's got some injury issues. Arkansas, as Campbell learned before we started the show, is without its head coach. Sam Pittman has COVID-19. He will not be on the trip to Gainesville. He'll be back in Fayetteville in isolation, locked away in a cold, dark room, protected from everyone and protecting himself from everyone there in Fayetteville. Thoughts and prayers to everyone there, anywhere in the vicinity of the Pittman home. All right, so Arkansas is a 16.5-point underdog at Florida. Greg, what do you think?
I'm going to have to go here. I'm not going to I like Arkansas. I know that Florida had a big week last week against Georgia, and they hadn't beat Georgia in a hot minute. So that's, kind of an emotional win for them. It's a lot of points with the Arkansas, but we'll see the true Arkansas come out this week and when Florida beats them by about 30. So we'll go with the Gators here.
Wow, some trash talk there. So he's going to lay the 16.5 on your Razorbacks, Campbell. I have a feeling you're going to go the other way.
Well, I'm going to go the other way because I'd feel bad not. But, I'm going to pick Arkansas. I know we're going to lose, but I just feel like I don't feel right picking the other team.
That's fair.
I'm going to pick Arkansas. Last weekend was fun with the win. I watched it in my room here in Kaya. I wish I was at the game, though, because it looked like so much fun. Everybody was, at the end of the game on my TV screen. They were all, running to the bottom of the student section. So it looked like fun. But, I'm going to pick Arkansas just because I feel bad not picking them. Yeah,
two teams last week that Arkansas and Florida had big emotional wins, kind of cathartic wins. Arkansas had not beaten Tennessee in a long time, too. So that was a big win for them. That was you're right. It was a fun game to watch. Sam Pittman's done a great job up there, and Dan Mullen is a terrific coach. Everybody in Mississippi hates him, but he's a hell of a good coach, and he's got the Gators rolling. All right, the game here in Oxford, South Carolina heads to Ole Miss. It's a 6:30 kick as of now on the SEC Network. South Carolina is a 9.5 point underdog at Ole Miss. Ole Miss had last weekend off. South Carolina was absolutely destroyed by Texas A&M. Man, that was ugly. One of the ugliest SEC games not involving Vanderbilt I've seen in a long time. Campbell, what do you think?
I'm going to pick Ole Miss. I said, I don't remember, maybe the third week how much I liked Columbia, but I actually hope Ole Miss wins this week, so I'm going to go with them. All
right, Greg?
I'm going to have to agree with her. She's on top of her pick. She knows her stuff. So, I'm just going to casually go with her, and we might do the Tulsa Ole Miss parlay, when we head to Tunica today.
You should. All right, one last one. We go back out west. This will be the late game. Utah is a 3.5 point favorite at UCLA. This game in the completely empty Rose Bowl. 9:30 Central Time, so 7:30 out there on the West Coast. You can watch this game on Fox. Let's see, Greg, it's your turn.
Man, it would be so weird to see that picture overhead of a football game being played at an empty Rose Bowl. That's one of the best stadiums in the country, I think. I'm going to have to go with Utah here. UCLA looked bad last week as a 6.5 point favorite against Colorado and actually lost the game. So, Jim Moore Jr. might, not have the right spice there, but we're going to go with Utah. I like Utah's coach. He's a good one. I like him. Let's go Utah.
Greg's going with the Utes, laying the 3.5. Campbell, what do you think?
I'm going to agree with him and go with Utah. We went into California I don't remember.
2 years ago.
2 or 3 years ago, and we kind of took a college tour of UCLA.
Yeah, we did.
And I hated Los Angeles so much. So we'll never go back. So I'm going to go with Utah for that reason.
Isn't that funny? Because the girls, Greg, were so excited about getting to go to Los Angeles and Hollywood and all that stuff. And they got out there and like, this sucks.
Well, a homeless man. It was the first night. We had left the hotel. It was just me, you, and Caroline and Carson.
Yeah, in Santa Monica.
We went to that outdoor like shopping area, and this homeless man came and like waved in my face really up close, and it freaks me out. So I was like freaked out the rest of the trip.
Yeah, I've never been to Los Angeles. I think I'm going to, take a big X on that. As much as I'd like to go to, Napa Valley and get some, wines and do that sort of thing. But I do need to go and knock off Oakland and San Francisco on the stadium, on my MLB stadium tour. So I don't know.
I like San Francisco. We could have just stayed there the whole time and I would have been happy.
Yeah, I like NorCal. I don't like SoCal much. Now, San Diego's pretty cool, but LA, I don't like it. I like Monterey and Big Sur and that area. It's kind of
it's kind of open.
Yeah, it's kind of open. It's kind of hippie a little bit, but I like it.
Also, I could have just done that the whole time and I would have had fun. But
yeah,
LA.
And I love like once you go to Sausalito and Tiburon and up into Napa and all that. That's my jam right there. I love that. That's fantastic.
Yeah, see, I'd like to do that for sure. I just, I'm not about to sit on an interstate or a freeway or whatever they call it and look at the back of a car for 30, 45 minutes. That sounds brutal.
San Francisco, from a stadium tour standpoint, where the Giants play, I guess it's still AT&T. I don't know who the corporate sponsor is now, but that's a cool park. It's one of the really underrated ballparks in the country. That one and Pittsburgh, I think, are my two favorite ones.
Yeah, because they're on the river or on the bay, either way. Yeah. I heard the Nashville, they were trying to do a baseball stadium on the river in Nashville and trying to get an MLB team there. That would be a pretty cool setup.
Yeah, I think Nashville needs to have a Major League Baseball team. I know Cincinnati and Atlanta would probably push back because of proximity, but Nashville's grown so much that it could support big league teams. There's talk about the Raptors because of the COVID thing, the Raptors playing this season in Nashville.
That'd be cool.
That might be Nashville's opportunity to show that it could support an NBA franchise.
So would they be the Nashville Raptors?
I guess they'd still be the Toronto Raptors. It'd probably be like that year. If you remember a long way back when Katrina crushed New Orleans and the New Orleans team played in Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
And then Oklahoma City proved they could support a NBA team, and then boom, the Sonics moved to Oklahoma City. And so it could be history repeating itself. This could be Nashville's opportunity to babysit a franchise and then get one of their own. So, all right, that does it for this episode. Let's see, Greg, real quick before we go. How do people get in touch with you? I know it's 2008 University Avenue in Oxford, 662-259-2999, I believe, is the number.
Yep. We got some traffic issues going on because they're doing the light right across, doing some road work. So hopefully they got that done in the next, probably today would be great. But there's some traffic issues going on. But, we're right across the street from Kroger, and, we'll get you taken care of. No problems.
Big party plans this weekend in Fayetteville, or are we getting close to finals where you have to study?
No, I'm not really getting close to finals, and honestly, I don't really have that many, but I have sociology, which, isn't really hard. But no, I think it's just going to be a relaxing weekend in Fayetteville, and then the next weekend I get to come home. So
awesome.
Have we had any themes at the Zen spin class this week? Anything new themes?
I'm doing Hannah Montana next week on Wednesday.
Which is Miley Cyrus, right? Right, that's Miley Cyrus.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Okay. I figured that out last week. That was good news.
Good to learn.
Yeah.
All right, we will get back together next week and see where we stand. There's going to be a shakeup somehow, some way, because you guys are only on the same page on maybe Ole Miss and
like 2 games.
Yeah, 2 games. Ole Miss and Utah, y'all are on the same page, and that's about it. So there's going to be some wins and losses. We'll have to see how that shakes out. So
if I'd have known about that Los Angeles experience, I'd have definitely been on UCLA.
Well, it's too late.
Too late now. This is your last chance to switch. I'll let you switch right here.
No. It's fine. We'll stick together on Utah.
All right. So we'll stick together on the Utes and the Rebels and see how it all shakes out everywhere else. So that does it for this edition of the Butcher versus the Spin Instructor, presented by LB's Meat Market. We'll be back next Thursday. Until then, everybody have a great weekend. Take care, and we'll talk to you soon.